Welcome everyone to the City Council regular session City Council meeting of December 1st, 2025. If you would, please stand with me for the pledge and the invocation.
Let us pray. Let us pray. I'd like to have a moment of silence for the two National Guards that were shot. One was killed, and the other one is fighting for his life. Let us pray. Dear God, thank you for all creations. Look over this council. Help us make the decisions that is pleasing in your sight. Look over our first responders and our armed forces in our area and abroad. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilman Jernigan.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Jernigan.
Present.
Councilmember Harris.
Present.
Councilmember Young.
Here.
Councilmember Carter.
Present.
Mayor Walker.
Present.
City Manager Rosenthal.
Here.
City Attorney Martin.
Here.
Chief Butler.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lake City Council has opened its public meeting. Since 1968, the City Code has prohibited any person from making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the City Council. Yelling or making audible comments from the audience constitutes boisterous conduct. Such conduct will not be tolerated. There is only one approved manner of addressing the City Council, and that is to be recognized and then to speak from the podium. Failure to abide by the rules of decorum will result in removal from the meeting. All right. Now we'll move on to our first item, which is approval of the agenda.
So approved, Mayor.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Do we have any discussion, comments, questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, like sign? All right. Agenda is approved. We will move on to proclamations and awards. And we have one proclamation tonight for the Baptist Women's World Day of Prayer, which occurred on November 3rd, 2025. I will now read that proclamation. Baptist Women's World Day of Prayer, November 3rd, 2025. Whereas the Baptist Women's World Day of Prayer is observed annually on the first Monday of November, bringing together Baptist women across the United States and around the world in a unified time of prayer, reflection, and fellowship. And whereas this day is organized through the Baptist World Alliance Women, representing millions of Baptist women who are committed to strengthening their faith, serving their communities, and promoting peace and understanding through prayer and compassionate action. And whereas women of faith play a vital role in the moral and spiritual life of our communities, offering leadership, mentoring, and service that uplifts family and contribute to the well-being of society. And whereas on this day, Baptist women gather to pray for peace, justice, healing, and hope for all people, demonstrating the power of unity, faith, and collective prayer to inspire positive change. And whereas the observance of this day serves as a reminder of the shared values of faith, love, and service that strengthen the fabric of our community. Now, therefore, I, Noah Walker, Mayor of the City of Lake City, Florida, do hereby recognize November 3rd, 2025 as Baptist Women's World Day of Prayer in the City of Lake City. And then I'll ask Miss LaVonda Camille if you'd like to come up for a photo, and Miss Young, you too. Up front. Very good. All right, now we'll move into public participation. So we have 2 people signed up for public participation so far. Ms. Limley, would you like to go now or wait till that item?
I would just like to, Barbara Limley, Lake City, just to thank the city for the lovely Christmas lights, and hopefully they won't be destroyed by vandals. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Limley. All right, Mr. Ben Lofstrom.
I just had one question. I was wondering how the investigation or lawsuit or whatever against Paul Dial was coming. So that was my only question.
Thank you, Mr. Lofstrom. Mr. Lilker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Stu Lilker, Columbia County Observer. I notice on the resolutions tonight, once again, there's no monetary limit to what goes on the consent agenda, and that you don't read them by title. It's clear that you don't have to read them by title, and that clock has to be lowered because anybody watching on the video feed that you do can't see the clock. I would suggest you look at the frame while you're sitting there, and nobody can see the timer online. But there's no monetary. A few weeks ago, and my memory serves me correct, there was a $463,000 item on the consent agenda. Tonight, there's a $106,000 item on the consent agenda. You guys have no rules. Maybe it's time you made a rule. I understand you're the one that puts stuff on the consent agenda. You sit there in the meetings and go, consent. So that's your responsibility. I think it's maybe your responsibility to make a rule, which would be for good government, and I believe that's something that this city council should consider. My other comment is about handicapped accessibility. This is another meeting where, and I really don't want to mention the police because I know the police chief knows all the great blackfish fishing spots off the shore of Connecticut, and I don't want to get on his bad side. As you can see, he's smiling back there. However, continually, the police department puts stuff on this agenda that's not handicapped accessible. And that's wrong. It's not hard to do. I used to do it for the town of Fort White just because it should be there. Eventually, they figured out how to do it. The police department has a full staff of 20, 30, 40 people, I don't know. The clerk's office has 4, maybe, or 5, 4 or 5. I don't think they should be responsible for making stuff handicapped accessible. The information that the police chief has on the agenda is not difficult to do. Apparently, the police department refuses to do it. I can't make them do it, but you can. And I think, especially one now, has to do with United Way and homeless people. It should probably be pulled off the agenda until people that need accessibility can read what the agreement is. Because you will see tonight that that's not readable. And that's something I respectfully suggest that you look into and take corrective action, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. That concludes all of our public comment cards, so we will move on to approval of the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further comments, questions? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right. We'll move on to old businesses, which brings us to our ordinances. And number 7, Mr. Martin, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. You have before you ordinance 2025-2343, an ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending Chapter 70, Article 4 of the City of Lake City Code of Ordinances entitled Police Officers Pension Plan and Trust Fund, amending Section 70-96 of the City of Lake City Code of Ordinances entitled Service Retirement Benefits, Cost of Living Adjustment by adding option for partial lump sum benefit, adding Section 70-106 for the purpose of purchasing prior military service, adding a new section 70-107 for the purpose of purchasing prior police service, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We don't have any public comment on item number 7, so we'll move directly into council comments, questions on City Council Ordinance number 2025-2343.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
you said if we got any questions, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
My question would be to the chief. What we're talking about here is buying that military service added onto their retirement. Is that what you're saying?
Assistant Chief Miles is on the pension board. He's better able to answer any details, so I'm going to defer to him.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
Did you hear my question, sir?
I did.
Okay.
And essentially, yes, that is the biggest portion of it, is the ability to buy back military time, up to there's a limit, I think it's 4 or 5 years. Also prior police service, so if someone worked at, say, the sheriff's office, because they have a different retirement system that is portable, but not portable to within our retirement system.
Right.
As long as they have not reached a vesting stage, they could then buy some time back from them, which allows us to be more, to recruit more officers. It allows them to add on to their retirement. But what it cannot be used for is to create vestiture. So they have to vest within our system and then they can add some service time.
Yes.
So
So my next question is, what's the maximum amount of time that they can buy back?
I believe it's 4 years.
You believe it's 4 years?
I believe, it's been since we send it to our attorney, it's been about 8 months to make it to this point, and I haven't read it again, but it's either 4, Garrett, do you know? It's either 4 or 5 years military. The maximum would be 5.
Yes. And I just want to let you know that I know the officers appreciate that too, because that is very, very expensive to buy back your time.
It is.
To add it on there. So that is a good, that's a big deal in my opinion, that they are able to buy that time back.
It's a huge deal. I know I have, because obviously I've been here a very long time, and I recruit trying to get officers to within our agency, and we have lost officers because another agency allowed, under their provisions of their stuff, to buy that time, and we could not. And so this just puts us on a level playing field with a lot of other agencies that we compete for people for.
Thank you very much.
Miles, one
Yes, ma'am.
question. Could you explain so the constituents can know exactly what condition the police department is in order to pay this without it being pressed upon the city council?
Well, what it is we have an actuary who determines the cost, and it is 100% funded by the officer or potential officer who wants to get that time. There is no cost to us, the city, or any portion of that, unless they reach vestiture, and then I believe I looked at the numbers today, and currently the city's contribution rate 7.8% of payroll, because we as a board on our retirement board have made some fairly decent choices, and we're at like 120% funding ratio right now. So there's no cost to the city or to the taxpayer.
In other words, good shape.
We're in very, very good shape. We're in the top 5% within the state.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
Any
Miles.
more questions?
Oh, Miss Young.
I do have one quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're not sure of the max amount of time?
I don't want to do a hard line that it's absolutely 5 years, but I believe it is 5 years.
Information.
It should be in the package that you guys have.
Okay.
I don't have the documents you have.
That's very important.
Yeah.
I respect it. I really do.
Yeah.
Have been put in a position, found myself in a position before, having to buy back time for retirement, not myself, but my mother, and it really comes, it works well when you have that opportunity to do that, because it could be sickness, or you just know where the employee could find themselves, and this time bought back will really make a big difference.
It is a huge I mean, it's expensive. I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat. It's expensive,
But it's
but the long-term payout for the employee is huge.
That's
And
right.
it's a huge thing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Young. Councilman Carter.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve City Council Ordinance 2025-2343.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, we're going to move now into new business, which is, we'll start with City Council Ordinance number 2025-2345. Mr. Martin, will you please read that by title?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, you have before you ordinance number 2025-2345, an ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, approving, adopting, and authorizing execution of an interlocal service boundary agreement between the City of Lake City, Florida, and the Columbia County, Florida Board of County Commissioners regarding a joint planning area and municipal service area to be commonly identified as the Cornerstone Planning Area, providing for recordation, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We don't have any public comment on this item, so we'll move straight into council comments, questions.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve City Council Ordinance 2025-2345.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you both. Do we have any further discussion? Questions? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. Now we'll move on to our resolutions in new business, beginning with City Council Resolution number 2025-158. Mr. Martin, will you read this by title, please? This is the MOU on the homeless coalition with the.
Give me just a moment. My technology is not cooperating here. Mr. Mayor, council members, you have before you City Council Resolution number 2025-158, resolution of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, adopting the mutual aid agreement with United West Swanee Valley Incorporated, a Florida not-for-profit corporation, making certain findings of fact in support of the city adopting said agreement, recognizing the authority of the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, directing the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, directing the chief of police to execute said agreement, repealing all prior resolutions in conflict, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We don't have any public comment on this one, so we'll move directly into council comments, questions. Ms. Harris, I saw you first, and then we'll come back to you, Mr. Carter.
Go ahead and let him do his.
Okay, Mr. Carter.
We'll just ask, we had a citizen mention this earlier. I'm for adopting this tonight, but if there are some issues with ADA compliance, I would like to have us look into that and get that taken care of. That being said, move to approve resolution 2025-158.
We have a motion. We'll come back to discussion in a second. We have to have a second before we can have discussion.
Second.
Okay. All right. Now, Ms. Harris.
Can someone just explain a little more about this? Because it's saying to recognize the authority of the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, directing the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, directing the chief of police to execute said agreement, repealing all prior resolutions in conflict and providing an effective date. I don't want to misunderstand what is being said, so could you come and elaborate just a little more?
Mr. Martin, you want to speak on that? You were chief. I think it's the mayor to execute the agreement is just for me to sign and put us into the agreement, the memorandum of understanding with the United Way of the Swanee Valley.
Correct. All the MOUs, I don't have the authority to bind the city to anything. The mayor does through the council. The mayor signs it, and then I co-sign it. And basically, this just allows us to work with the coalition. It's a renewal of an agreement that we do every 2 years, I believe.
Yeah, and I only have that binding power by the vote, right? So that's
Okay.
yeah.
Correct.
But with that being said, I like to.
Do we have any other? We have a motion and a second. Do we have any other comments or questions? Okay, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Sure. Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, now we're moving on to item number 10, which is the City Council Resolution number 2025-166. Mr. Martin, I'm going to let you introduce this one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, you have before you resolution number 2025-166, a resolution of the City of Lake City, Florida, complying with section 164.1057 Florida statutes, approving that certain resolution of chapter 164, conflict resolution between Lakeshore Hospital Authority and the City of Lake City, Florida, making certain findings of fact in support of the city approving said agreement, repealing all prior resolutions in conflict, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Do you want to elaborate any on?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I gave a more extensive update a few weeks ago on the status of the matter. This is the culmination of that. If you'll recall, back earlier this year, the Lakeshore Hospital Authority passed a resolution that engaged Chapter 164 of Florida statutes, which is a particular statute that lays out a framework for governmental entities to resolve disputes between them. The nature of this dispute concerned particularly the land use issues and available uses to Lakeshore Hospital Authority as the owner of Lakeshore Hospital. There was a dispute concerning some correspondence from the city that was sent to them that they wanted clarified. There was a public meeting among the staff and the mayor on behalf of the city, and then on Lakeshore's part, one of their board members and their staff as well. That meeting was adjourned for staff to continue conversations. Later, there was a potential resolution brought to this board. This board approved it. Lakeshore did not. That agreement contained within, or that particular resolution to the conflict contained within it certain terms and conditions that the city wanted to see Lakeshore and any successors to Lakeshore adhere to. Ultimately, Lakeshore agreed to all of those conditions. They just would not agree to them in that particular context. They rather wanted them to be in the agreement between Lakeshore Hospital Authority and Meridian Behavioral Health Services, who's the anticipated successor to Lakeshore for that property. Between the two of them, they agreed to incorporate into their agreement the city's desired restrictions. Walking alongside that was still the remaining issue of resolving the land use dispute. That's something that council and staff have continued to work on over the past several months. That has culminated in the letter that's attached to the resolution that would be sent in an administrative capacity by Scott Thomason as the city's land use administrator. And so by adopting this resolution, you would essentially be saying that the Chapter 164 conflict resolution process will be complete, and as far as the city is concerned, the disputes between the city and the hospital authority will be resolved upon the transmission of this letter to the hospital authority and upon the adoption of the agreement between the hospital authority and Meridian. If the council adopts this tonight, then it would go before the Lakeshore Board next week. If they adopted it, then the Chapter 164 process would be resolved, and there would not be a lingering dispute between the city and Lakeshore Authority. And then following that, presumably Meridian and Lakeshore would execute their conveyance agreement between the two of them that would incorporate the conditions that the city has asked them to incorporate in their agreement. And alongside that, the city would issue the letter here stating that the use of the hospital for purposes of providing health care to the indigent would be a conforming use for that property, and the provision of healthcare services to the non-indigent would be a non-conforming grandfathered use of that property. And then assuming they execute the agreement between them, then Meridian could go forward with those two uses subject to the restrictions in the letter and in the agreement between Meridian and Lakeshore.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. We do have public comment on this, so I'm going to open up public comment now, and we will start with you, Ms. Limley.
I've had attended many meetings of the hospital authority, and on part 2A, is that something the city added as far as primary care or federally qualified health center program, either directly by purchaser or under contract with another provider? Can you elaborate on that section?
Which document are you referencing?
Exhibit B,
Okay,
2A.
okay. Give me just a second. It's Exhibit B to the conveyance agreement, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then you said item 2A, and your question was regarding that, I'm sorry.
If we added it.
Is that something that was added?
That
B.
was something that was added by the city as a condition and a restriction on what they can use the property for.
Okay, but if the authority in their agreement with Meridian, they're there for mental health and nothing has ever been said about primary health care and putting it under contract with another provider. How did that come to be?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, it says directly by purchaser, which would be Meridian, or under contract with another provider. Where does that fall in there?
Okay, I see, in parenthetical afterward. So the conveyance agreement governs the relationship between Meridian and Lakeshore. There is nothing here that prohibits Lakeshore, just like you couldn't prohibit any other owner from conveying the property at some future date. And so the intent of that parenthetical, or contracting for services, just like many providers will contract with an outside provider to come in and provide a service for them under a contract. And so the purpose of that parenthetical is to make sure that that item A covers not only what what Meridian provides, but it would also govern what any contractor of theirs would provide. So it's actually a constricting provision so that they can't circumvent that by saying, well, we'll just contract with somebody else to do what we can't do ourselves.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Limley. Up next, Mr. Lilker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. To follow up on Ms. Lemley, first of all, I object to this even being on the agenda, 126 or 1226. This amendment went on the agenda. I didn't have a chance to look at it. I don't know what it says. I don't know that anybody in the city council read it, or the assistant city manager or the city manager read it. This thing got on at 12:30 this afternoon. There's no exigent circumstance requiring that this be passed tonight until the city council understands what's going on. And I will tell you, Mr. Martin, I was clueless about what you were talking about. And I know what's going on over there. So I don't think this board knows what's going on. And this 12th hour thing that you're doing now is just disrespectful to the public. Once again, Lake City's 12th hour stuff. You may not know that for years, that hospital has been being allowed to be run down. There's been false fire alarms sent to the city. I don't see the city fire chief here tonight. I wanted to ask him about that. Is he there? Well, maybe he could tell us how many. That's something that should have been, the city council should have known about all this time. The massive roof leaks in the hospital. I don't believe I got all the pictures from building and zoning. Emails that I got from people that work in the hospital say that place is beyond a disaster and it should be condemned. Mold goes from the floor to the ceiling. I had to ask again to get pictures of the inside of that hospital that somehow got lost in the OneDrive ozone. And the clerk will tell you that she had to send me more pictures, and I still don't know that I got all the pictures. They closed off a room and I didn't get the pictures of inside that room. Finally, this is supposed to be a conforming, non-conforming use. Well, with all due respect, that hospital, really, we could go to 1940, but really should start at 1960. That was a general hospital. That was the use. The head of the building official doesn't have any right to change the use of that hospital. City council members were born in that hospital. Mayors were born in that hospital. Mr. Rosenthal wasn't born in that hospital. But other people certainly had the opportunity to be born in that hospital. That's not what this hospital is now. It says right here, inpatient crisis emergency program. That's not the conforming use that was there. For 65 years, that hospital was a general hospital. And Mr. Martin is now telling you that the head of the building department, I don't know if he's here, has the right to change the purpose for that hospital. Well, he doesn't. You guys all know that that was a general purpose hospital. And I'll just finish the sentence, please. And what's going in there is not a general purpose hospital. And of course, again, I object because I haven't had a chance to read that extra exhibit that came this afternoon, and neither of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lilker. I'll speak to that exhibit that was added this afternoon. It was just an addendum of, this is just a slightly modified of the original that was placed on there last Wednesday. Correct, Mr. Martin?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The substantial parts of this were actually distributed last Wednesday. The only things added this afternoon was a small phrase in one of the recitals of the resolution and an addendum that addresses reimbursements between Lakeshore and Meridian that has no bearing really on the city's concerns as it relates to resolution of these issues.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. That concludes public comment. So we will now move on to council comments, questions.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve City Resolution 2025-166.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. We have a motion and a second. Any further comments, questions? Yes.
Since this has something to do with, Meridian, I think I'm accused from that, right? So I can't second it, right?
Mr. Martin?
So yes, it would be appropriate because you're employed by Meridian for you to abstain from voting on this. And did you make the second?
Withdraw your second.
Withdraw your second, and someone else should second it if they're willing to do
I'll
so.
second.
Ms. Harris has withdrawn her second. Ms. Young has seconded the motion. Now, do we have any further comments, questions? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
I'm recused.
Yep. I'll help you fill out your form. Okay. And Mayor Walker?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Now we'll move on to our other items, starting with appointment of vice mayor to serve 2026. Ms. Young has done a wonderful job the year of 2025. In our charter, we have to appoint or reappoint vice mayor every year, which is why this is on our agenda. So I do have a little bit of a script. So that's why we're doing it. I'll now call for nominations for vice mayor, and then we have a ballot.
I have a question
Yes, ma'am.
about that. We voted, Vice Mayor Young to be vice mayor.
Mhm.
But, somewhere in there, I've gotten lost on what her duties were. From what I understood, she wasn't, in, the meetings for the agenda. So
Mhm.
what was her actual role? You said she did a wonderful job, but I'm just curious to what that job in detail, or Vice Mayor Young, if you did some things, I could stand and be corrected right now.
Let me read it real quick. Out of our charter, at the first city council meeting after each regular city election and annually thereafter, the council shall select one of its members as vice mayor, elect one of its members as vice mayor. The mayor shall preside at meetings over the council and shall be considered a member of the council, shall be recognized as the head of city government for ceremonial purposes by the governor for purposes of military law, for service of process, execution of contracts, deeds, and other documents and agreements with other government entities or certifications to other government entities. he or she shall annually prepare a state of the city message, prepare an annual budget message, set forth the agenda for all meetings of the council, name committees, The vice mayor shall act as mayor during the absence or disability of the mayor. In case of death, resignation, or removal of the mayor, the vice mayor shall serve as mayor until the next regular or special election when the office shall be filled. In the case of death, resignation, or removal, the vice mayor or his or her assumptions of the office of mayor, the council shall elect one of its members to serve the unexpired term of the vice mayor. So,
Okay, so I understood that, but I still say, what was,
I'll speak
she's
on
not,
that.
she wasn't in on the agenda meetings.
Yeah.
So what, if for instance. if
She
you
can't
got-
be. She can't
If
be.
you got sick.
yeah.
Oh, okay, so you pretty much probably was supposed to be in.
No, she can't be.
She can't be?
She can't. If I'm in there,
I-
if one of us is in a private meeting, the other person can't be in a private meeting. That violates the Sunshine Law.
Right, so if you get, let's just say God forbid you get sick.
Mhm.
And the vice mayor, we have a meeting that Monday night and it's Sunday night.
Mhm.
And she's not abreast of, all of the stuff that's going on the agenda. And she's to sit in this seat Monday evening. It's gonna be some stuff that she don't know.
There should-
Or should it be, whereas they meet with you and then meet with the vice mayor separately and maybe talk about the same stuff?
No. So everybody gets the agenda. Everybody gets the agenda the Wednesday before or Thursday before. So she should be abreast. Anybody should be abreast. The vice mayor should be abreast for the meeting that following Monday. Does that make sense? So they should have all of the items, all of the agenda. They have time to meet with staff, prepare, but only the mayor sets forth the agenda. So that's why we have those. And to be clear, those agenda prep meetings weren't happening with any elected official prior to me becoming mayor.
Right.
I want to say I had the first agenda meeting. Am I right? I called the first agenda meeting. And I'm saying this because I've heard that being said that, that Mayor Walker started the agenda meetings. I had the very first agenda meetings. Everything was chaotic when it came to those agendas. And, the citizens were complaining, the council was, not prepared, and I called a meeting. And after that is when the agenda meetings began. And I'm not saying that to hoop hooray myself, but I just want to correct that. And as far as vice mayor, I sit on boards where I'm vice president on those boards. And it is that the vice steps in when the president, or in this setting where the mayor is absent for whatever reason, the vice steps in. And I see where you're going with this, Councilwoman Harris, that the vice should have some type of training, but I'm very observant. I observe things. So had I had the opportunity or whatever reason had to step in, I would have been prepared to carry things out because I'm observant, I pay attention, but it wouldn't have been exactly how Mayor Walker does it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I didn't sit as mayor because there was no reason, or he didn't have to not sit.
Right.
And thank God, because it could have been, something bad that caused him not to sit. So I'm well with that. I'm well with that. And I really don't, your concern.
I was just really curious, about how it's ran, but I'm clear on it.
And I guess for some, it speaks volumes to be called vice mayor. I'm not one of those people. I'm not big on titles. Had the opportunity come for me to sit, I just would have respectfully, carried out the duties to the best of my ability.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Young. All right. Any more conversation before? Yes, sir.
I'll just say, I had the opportunity on multiple occasions to run meetings like this from this dais before. I'm perfectly capable, and I enjoy chairing meetings. So if you guys feel like it, I'd be happy to do it.
That brings us to calling for nominations. Would anybody like to make any nominations?
And if I may say, before now, I understand that it was according to seniority. And there's no experience required. And just as myself sit on boards and could carry out, I didn't have the opportunity to carry it out. So I just don't believe we need to be looking at experience. I think we should stay with the way we were going. I nominated Councilman Jernigan last time because of his seniority, and I do the same this time.
Okay, we have a nomination for Councilman Jernigan by Vice Mayor Young. Any other nominations?
Mr. Mayor, I nominate myself. I think knowing how to do it is pretty important, especially if we get one of those crazy meetings where we got 100 people in the room wanting to talk and it can get kind of out of hand. I've been a part of those meetings before. So.
Just a flick
Thank
of
you,
the wrist.
thank you, Mr. Carter. So we've got a nomination for Mr. Jernigan as Vice Mayor. We have a nomination for Mr. Young as Vice Mayor. Any other nominations?
I nominate Vice Mayor Young
Okay. We have a nomination for Vice Mayor Young.
again.
Okay. Any more nominations?
I want to be clear on the reason why, it's nothing personal, but, for me to want someone to be the vice mayor, I want it to be a person with temperance. I mean, because I could probably get out of control myself, so I would want somebody to be in control with the gavel. Secondly, just because you have seniority, if you do not come to meetings, go to conferences, summits, or whatever, I could not in good faith say that you would be that person that I will put in that position. And I would want somebody to be consistent and someone to meet and speak with constituents of, be able to speak with constituents of different districts. So.
Thank you, Ms. Harris.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
if
sir.
I may, I appreciate Vice Mayor Young nominating me for that position. And with that being said, I accept her nomination. And I don't think people realize sometimes it ain't about a resume, it ain't about this or about that. It's how well you conduct business on several occasions. I sit on boards all over the place, and you name it, I've did it. Instructors and so forth and so on. At this point, I'm right there at the TDC as vice chair, and I would be more than happy to fulfill the role in case of your absence. So I don't have a problem with that at all.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. That brings us to just verifying that everybody wants to accept their nominations. Ms. Young, did you want to accept your nomination?
I really don't understand the nomination.
You were not. You were.
Out.
Yeah, you were nominated. You're nominated. Mr. Carter's nominated, and Mr. Jernigan's nominated. Mr. Jernigan just accepted his nomination, and now we're just accepting nominations.
Wow.
Another thing, Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes, sir.
I guess when it came to seniority and the way the previous mayors have did this, they given every body on the dais an opportunity to become vice mayor. Just coincidentally, this year here, Ms. Young nominated me. Last year we nominated Ms. Young. In 26, when at the end of that year, we'll nominate Mr. Carter or Mr. Harris, and that's the way they have been doing this for years. And so I don't, I'm not understanding of what's going on here.
Yeah, it's just, so I mean, that's a way to do it. I just thought that we'd have a discussion, do nominations like we did last year, take a ballot like we did last year. It's an easy process.
If we're gonna go by seniority, why should we even vote? If it is already in stone that whoever was here the longest, we're just gonna go down the line like that. There's no need of having no vote for it. You understand what I'm saying? So if she was here the longest, and
Sure.
then he's next, and him, and then it's me, what use of it voting?
I took our charter as saying, right, let me read it real fast, because this is an excerpt from our charter. The council shall elect one of its members as vice mayor, elect one of its members as vice mayor. And so we are running an election for vice mayor. That's why we're doing it this way.
So it doesn't matter how long you've been in office.
There's nothing in our charter that
There
says
are
that.
not. It does not matter how long you have been here in office.
No.
And I will say with piggybacking off on Councilwoman Harris, when you're in leadership as mayor or vice president or vice or whatever, you are held to a higher somewhat accountability. So you would need to come to the city hall. You have to interact with administration. You really need to be a part of meetings. I get it. That is so true. That is true. So whoever is mayor, vice mayor, under the leadership of mayor, you really need to be in full participation. That's a must.
Agreed. We're going to come back to accepting of nominations. Vice Mayor Young, do you accept your nomination?
I was there.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Carter, do you accept your nomination?
Of course.
Thank you. All right. So with that, if we have nothing else, we're going to close our nominations. And just to restate and verify, we have Vice Mayor Young nominated, Councilman Carter nominated, and Councilman Jernigan nominated. So
Let me prepare these ballots, Mayor.
as you prepare the ballots, we'll now open, because we have a defined proposition, we'll now open up public comment if anybody wants to speak. 1, 2, 3, seeing nobody move to the podium, we will close public participation on this. Do we have any council comments on the nominations or nominees? Would anybody like to speak in advocacy for themselves or for one of the nominees? All right, perfect. And now we will vote by ballot. Whenever Ms. Sykes gets us prepared, we will actually take a 5-minute recess while she does that, if you don't mind. Mics are going hot.
What is that building
Mics
that
are hot.
Rail has? Is that the, why are we on? We been on all that time? The purple.
It's just because we're coming back in. All right, here we go.
The purple.
Ooh,
All right.
that's loud.
Now we're sorry about that. Now we're back in session. Our ballots have been prepared. So we're going to go ahead and vote and pass those to Ms. Sykes for tabulation. She will take a moment, tabulate them up, and give us a count. So what?
What is that?
Right.
Okay, would you like me to announce?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so Mayor Walker voted for Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter voted for Mr. Carter. Ms. Young voted for Ms. Young. Mr. Jernigan voted for Mr. Jernigan. And Ms. Harris voted for Ms. Young. So the total tally is, on nominee James Carter, 2 votes. Nominee Ricky Jernigan, 1 vote. Nominee Shavella Young, 2 votes.
All right, perfect. Means we have to vote again
Yes.
until a simple majority.
Okay. I'll redo some more ballots. You want me to just put the top 2 names on the new ballot? or-
Yeah.
Okay.
So knowing that those are the nominees, we just vote. You don't have to cross them out. I think that we can get it.
I mean, since you're gonna already say who voted for who, why we just can't say?
We can.
We don't have to, we don't have to
Just,
do all
yes, sir. Mr. Martin.
Mr. Mayor, so under Robert's rules, absent some rule of the council adopted prior to the voting that says you can do it, you have to continue proceeding with your same nominees. You can't eliminate the person receiving the least number of votes from the balloting. So the only way the outcome changes is if someone either changes a vote or withdraws their name from the nomination.
Does that mean we have to? Let me ask you a question. Does that mean we have to scratch the names out again?
Just Ms.
No.
Harris.
Ms. Harris would be the only one who's not nominated, so
Well, me too.
a vote cast for her would be a vote cast for somebody who's declined
for
to
me.
serve.
What is that? Let me see, is that, what sheet did I just give?
It has hers out.
That's the wrong sheet.
Oh.
Yep, sorry. Sorry.
Wrong sheet. Wrong sheet altogether.
Yep.
To be clear, we're gonna keep voting until somebody drops out.
No, just gets 3. Just need somebody to get 3.
Either somebody changes a vote or somebody drops out, shifting the
Nobody
allocation
needs.
of
Yeah.
votes.
Nobody needs to drop out.
Take one
They
pass
can
down,
if they
please.
like, but
Down. Pass that down. That one's for you.
all right.
Right, so Mr. Jernigan voted for Ms. Young. We have Ms. Young voted for Ms. Young. Ms. Harris voted for Ms. Young. Mr. Walker, Mayor Walker voted for Mr. Carter, and Mr. Carter voted for Mr. Carter. So total votes are Mr. Carter 2 and Ms. Young 3.
Perfect. All right. Vice Mayor Young, congratulations. You'll be our Vice Mayor for 2026. So that concludes our item number 11. And now we're on to item number 12. As part of our MOU with the United Way of Swanee Valley, we appoint someone to the Homeless Coalition with the United Way for Swanee Valley. So I just wanted to see if anybody was wanting to do that, or if there were multiple people wanting to do that. Is anybody?
I'll nominate myself.
I was thinking I was going to nominate you as well, Ms. Harris.
I nominate Ms. Harris also.
Okay, perfect. Do we have a consensus that Ms. Harris should?
I nominate Ms. Harris also.
All right, perfect. Ms. Harris, it
Nominate
sounds like
Ms. Harris.
we have a consensus. All in favor signify by, for a nomination of Ms. Harris to the Homeless Coalition. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, perfect. That's a good consensus. Ms. Harris, you will be appointed to the Homeless Coalition for United Way. And that ends our agenda items. So we'll move on to department with you, Mr. Rosenthal.
I don't have anything additional, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. Mr. Martin?
I have nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Sykes?
I have nothing.
Thank you, Ms. Sykes. Vice Mayor Young?
Yes, I appreciated the nominee last year, and I appreciate the nominee this year. And I will stand tall next to Mayor Walker.
Perfect. Thank you, Vice Mayor Young. Councilman Jernigan? Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Councilman Carter?
Yes, I have not much. I would like to make sure that our items on the agenda are ADA compliant, so I want staff to make sure if there's something we need to do or change, that is the case moving forward. And that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Ms. Harris? Councilwoman Harris?
I would like to give a shout out to I guess I'm gonna say the supervisors of the ground crew. You have Mike Grissom, you have Corey Williams. Steve, what is the other three? Bo Lord. I like to do a shout out to them. They are doing their thing. And I thank Steve and Dee for doing their due diligence and making sure everything is done. I appreciate them lighting up putting the light on the Mariah sign so it could be seen at night. I like to thank the grounds crew that cleaned up around the city hall so that we will be safe when we leave out of here at nighttime. I had one more thing I can't think of. I'll just yield the floor with that.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. All I have this week is Christmas. We're in December, so we have a couple of events coming up. We have a Christmas tree lighting or Light Up the Night Christmas tree celebration. That's going to be this Sunday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. You want to go real quick?
I remember now, I wrote it down. Not long ago, we talked about when we got around the city hall cleaned up. One of the things that came up was about the netting that is on the city hall. What was the end result of that?
So the netting is there purely for safety. We're not sure of the condition of the bricks. I have procurement is looking for people that can secure all those bricks so we can make sure. But until we're sure all those bricks are secure and going to stay secure, we want the netting to stay in place.
Okay. But one more question, I promise. We talked a while back, Don, about the city and the county working together in the fire department area. Where are we with that study?
Yes, that's the fire study. We're working on a time now to get it on the agenda. I talked to both the mayor and Commissioner Murphy on that today. And we're working on a place to get it on an agenda and a couple of agendas going forward.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Back to Christmas. So the Christmas tree lighting, again, light up the night. Christmas tree celebration is going to be 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's this Sunday here in Olustee Park. It should be a really good time. It was a great time last year. The Christmas market, the city Christmas market, is going to be around Olustee Park and downtown Lake City, will be December 13th. So that's not this coming Saturday, that's next Saturday. The parade will also be the same time. And then there's an event called the Lake City Holiday Hall that's going to be on Veteran Street, which is the closed street in between the Blanche and First Coast Financial. That's going to be 12/19, 5 to 8:30 p.m. I also would like to wish a happy birthday to my daughter Thora, if she's at home. She turned 3 yesterday. Love her very much. So that's all I have for tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.